While finding housing in Estes Park has been a challenge for working families, finding reliable childcare has proven to be just as difficult. In fact, Estes Park is considered a childcare desert, meaning there are very limited options available for local families. That's why funds from the lodging tax extension, known as 6E funds, are also being used to enhance childcare options in Estes Park. In fact, one local childcare center has been saved thanks to 6E funding. Using money from the lodging tax extension, the Town of Estes Park was able to purchase the property when it went up for sale, preventing it from likely being turned into a storage facility.
They worked tirelessly to make sure that this facility did not go by the wayside. When it was put up for sale, it was highly likely it would have become a storage facility. This piece of land is pretty highly sought after. The fact that the Town of Estes Park and the staff and the 6E funds were available, the town board approved the purchase, all of that is absolutely 100% the reason we're still here.
Welcome to Mountain Top Childcare, a facility that has been a staple of family life in Estes Park for decades. It nearly had to close its doors if it wouldn't have been for the hard work of the Town of Estes Park.
Mountain Top is still a cornerstone in the community because of those partnerships, because of the support of the 6E. The fact that we have a community that voted on this is huge. This has been talked about for as long as I've been here, and the fact that the members of the community saw that need and were willing to put this funding stream into place has been phenomenal. It has absolutely been instrumental in our being able to make it through those times where enrollment was low. They have helped us to increase the quality of our programming. They've helped us to increase the availability of our programming.
Want a hand? Nope. You got it, girl.
Christy DeLorme is the owner of the preschool. She says her path to getting involved in childcare started when she had trouble finding care for her own daughter.
All of my friends were like, you should start a daycare. And I'm like, no, I can't do it, because I had never worked preschool before or with childcare, but I loved kids, And so one thing led to another, and I started a couple of home daycares in Wyoming. I loved it. And then when we moved to Colorado, it was kind of a no-brainer to work in childcare in Fort Collins and Loveland in many corporate daycares. And then I just was kind of like open to the possibilities. And so Larimer County has a very robust networking through the ECCLC, and this childcare came up for sale, and one thing led to another, and it was like, here we are. And I love it. I mean, it's genuine. You get to serve families.
DeLorme not only has a deep love of caring for children, but also of helping families in the Estes Valley, especially when it comes to children who may be in need.
We serve a lot of underserved populations, and that's really where my heart is really helping the communities, making sure that we're providing a safe space, a good developmental space for children. And that's really where my heart lies, is when you find out that we're doing good things and we're hearing parents tell us thank you so much, and that they couldn't do it without us, and we couldn't do it without them, obviously. So it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's really interesting that you're saying that you get the opportunity to serve a lot of underserved populations. Tell me a little bit about that and that dynamic here in Estes Park.
Because it's a tourist community, we have a lot of our workers are service workers. They're hospitality. They are working in the hospitals. And we have a very brilliant mix. It's actually beautiful because while we do have the underserved populations, we've got teachers, doctors, lawyers as well. But serving those underserved kiddos, some of them have changed their policies to where they don't accept CCAP or EVIX tuition assistance, those tuition assistance programs. I worked with a lot of lower income families and those types of things. And it's especially important for those kiddos. The stability is really important, and it keeps our community running when families can rely on a childcare and they know that they can bring their kids, they know that they can go to work. And so it's really a beautiful place to be.
Whoa, that was pretty cool.
I want to talk about why it is so important, the bones of why it's so important to have childcare for the workforce here in Estes Park. While we have a community that did vote in favor of the 6E funds and are widely supportive of this, there are people who are concerned about 6E funds providing more opportunity for workforce here in lower income families. What would you say to those folks?
I mean, the 6E funds are absolutely essential. We are now seeing housing that's available that never was before. So when people are hiring, and when the hospital is hiring, when the Town of Estes Park is hiring, when the school district is hiring, we have had in the past, we have had people who have called and asked for a childcare space for one of their children, and then they've called back and said, I'm sorry, we can't take this space. I can't take the job because we couldn't find housing. I've had similar scenarios where, I'm sorry, I'm so grateful that you had a space for my child, but I can't find anyone for my youngest. And so those people have turned down those positions. They've been forced not to come to our community. And on the flip side of that, all of these things play into our day-to-day. If we don't have cashiers at Safeway, if we don't have stockers, if we don't have housekeepers, if we don't have all of those things, if they don't have childcare, they can't work. And if they can't work, then they're not able to be a productive part of our society, of our community. Again, childcare is just absolutely essential. Housing is absolutely essential. If we don't have those things, then we aren't able to grow as a community, to sustain as a community, to have this beautiful community that we have.
Oh my, he's gonna go up. Whoa!
And when it comes to why DeLorme has such love in her heart for working with children,
I mean, the hugs. It's just the hugs, the genuine joy, the happiness. It's all unfiltered, right? They're so inquisitive. They're having fun. You know, they just. It's amazing, and I love, again, being of service and knowing that when they come to Mountain Top, we have an amazing team.
they made a line and all told me their name. Okay. Good job. The Town of Estes Park's purchase of Mountain Top Childcare Center actually means that the center will remain a childcare facility in perpetuity, showing just how influential the lodging tax extension funds are on our community. And thanks to the relentless work of the Town of Estes Park, Mountain Top Childcare will now remain a source of stability for children and their families in Estes Park. With the Rocky Mountain Channel, I'm Claire Mollet.